a lot quicker than the last time, but I said that the first I said that the last time I made a video saying, "Oh, this will be short," and it ended up being 37 minutes. So, no, what I wanted to say is just some thoughts on the whole Brexit thing. You know, I follow Peter. You know, pardon me, the Brexit. Well, the Wexit thing, eh? The Wexit thing, and how I think, even though I support Peter, and I respect Peter Downing, the head of Wexit. I really, again, I'm mixed. Put it this way, I'm very, very mixed feelings on Wexit. I am hoping Wexit can be used as a wedge to get the West, including Manitoba, to get what they deserve, to get the representation they deserve. And they're not, right? So I'm hoping the whole Wexit movement that Peter Downing is spearheading, I hope separation doesn't come. I hope it doesn't come to separation. You know, I hope it doesn't come to that. And the reason is, I think Justin Trudeau wants that. I know a lot of people are going to go, no, he'll go down as the worst prime. He already is considered the worst prime minister in Canada's history, right? It was Toronto and Montreal that got him back in, right? And the 14 seats in Saskatchewan, the 14 seats in Manitoba, and 34 or 32, doesn't matter. Did nothing. I mean, the Atlantic provinces canceled the West's votes out anyway, right? Anyway, so all I'm saying is, listen, Justin Trudeau, Mr. Global Citizen, he wants, to work at the UN. He wants Canada's foreign policy. He wants Canada's everything that's happening in Canada done by the UN, and he wants to lead it, right? The guy is a psycho. The guy is a power hungry guy, and so he sees the power in the UN, and he wants that. He wants to end up in New York, working at the UN for Canada, etc. So there won't be a Canada, right? But so I cannot see him caring. Whether if Canada balkanizes, if the West leaves, Canada right off the bat, it loses its G7. The patriotism, and that's what hurts me the most. The patriotism gone. I'm still a patriot. I'm going to consider myself a Canadian till I die. And you know what? That's going to piss Justin Trudeau and the global citizens on his side off. There is no Canada, right, in their eyes. We have no core identity. We have no core values. Well, up their butt. I don't consider that's not true. And yet everyone has ran with that idea. Well, if Justin Trudeau says it, then all Canadians, no, it's not true. Of course we have an identity. Of course we have a heritage, and he's an idiot for saying something like that. Because listen, Quebecers are part of Canada. There's a lot of good French Quebecers, as well as the Blanchettes, the bad ones. And they have a long history. They have 450-year history within the Canadian identity. And then the English and the Scottish, right? I mean, our first prime minister was Scottish, right? So again, I mean, he doesn't give a rat's ass about our history, right? He doesn't give a rat's ass about where Canada will happen. So he's gonna Canada will balkanize. We'll lose a G7. Now the West, Peter Downing's fine. Listen, I respect. I mean, he's a hero to me because one, he's willing to take this on, right? But it's sad because he fought for this country. He's fought for Canada, and World War I vets and World War II vets did not fight to see Canada break up. I don't think World War I vets and World War II vets and vets after World War II fought to see the country break up because of Justin Trudeau's post-nationalist garbage. That's what's going to happen. That's what's happening. It's what's happening. Listen, I understand. I want the West to use Wexit as a wedge to get what they want, not to actually separate. But if they do, I hope Manitoba goes with, so at least I can get dual citizenship, eh? But I don't. I love Canada. Cripe, eh? Sorry, that's my right hand. That's my one arm. Sorry. No, yeah, I want Canada to stay as one. But, and so I'm hoping the Wexit could be used as a wedge for the West to get what they deserve, to be part of Canada, right? To be considered, because listen, right now Toronto and Montreal control Canada, right? The irony is, what funded the West historically was early 20th century. Oh, even been a little bit before that, but young Montreal, when it was very English, when it was the center of finance. So this is when Montreal was more when England, or well, not England, but it's when it was very, 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 very English. So the Montreal banks funded the development of the West. Think of that. So there's some irony. I'm just pointing out there's irony that because now the Montreal of today is nothing. It's a different city compared to what it was in 1906 and in 1904. And so that was the Montreal that funded the development of the West. The Selkirk is anyway. So it's nuts. Anyway, so my only point is, and I know people are not going to agree with me because Trudeau will go down as he doesn't care. He's an ideologue. He doesn't care if he goes down as the worst prime minister. He has Toronto and Montreal's back. Or he has, he has two cities that can re-elect him. Right? So, and that's not fair, right? A lot of Ontario voted against Trudeau. It wasn't just the West that went blue. But Toronto and Montreal, they went liberal. And that's where the majority of the seats are. The ridings. Right? Smaller ridings, but more plentiful. Right? Anyway, I'm getting a little riled. But no, I see Montreal, I see the West breaking up as, well, Trudeau's going to say, well, I don't care. Here's what I'm going to do now. Ontario becomes, well, first Quebec, he's going to give more shit to Quebec and give them more sovereignty, more independence, blah, 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 right? Because he doesn't give, he's already said before he was prime minister what he thinks of the West, right? So it's all Quebec for him, right? It's everything for Quebec. So they will eventually leave. Now the maritime provinces are disconnected with Ontario, they end up having issues. I'm sure they'll end up making a deal with the United States, or have a referendum of sovereignty, but I think they'd end up getting a deal with the United States. Something similar to Puerto Rico. But the West, whether they become their own country, West including Manitoba, or just Saskatchewan and Manitoba, Saskatchewan and Alberta, I think what would be better for them would be to join the States if they do leave. I just hope it doesn't come to that, because Trudeau will see it as a victory. Sorry, I know a lot of no, he won't. No, he does. He will. He will. All he cares about is Quebec. He doesn't care about. So, I think he's a separatist. So he will end up working with Blanchette. He's kind of in a corner. Right, he has to deal with Singh, and he has to deal with Blanchette. He's gonna deal with Blanchette to do what he wants. Anyway, that's all my point. So you all have a good one. It's Trudeau. This is what Trudeau wants. He wants divisive end of the country, and it looks like he might be getting it. And I just don't want that. I'll have a good one. I hope it doesn't happen. Ciao.